Oh, we gotta go.
All right, guys. I'm kind of proud of the little setup we got going on. Left, yeah. All right, hey guys, I'm Veringer. Welcome back to my channel.
Oh, I'm Dad.
This is my dad, my padre. You've seen him in a couple of my other videos, like the yoga challenge or the Coachella vlog, where
that was the best.
Today, I'm actually asking you questions kids or people are too afraid to ask their parents or dad. I asked you guys on my Instagram to leave some questions. We have some.
I apologize for my bangs. I really don't know what's happening.
Don't even look at them.
Some people have all the problems.
We have our lattes. And let's get into it. You have any beginning thoughts?
We've had a pretty open relationship when it comes to discussions and asking questions. And from the beginning, I didn't sugarcoat a whole lot with you. I kind of was always honest with you. Can I give the example of your aunt?
Oh my God, no, don't tell the story.
You asked how did the baby come out, and they told you through the belly button. And I was like, no. Not true, and then I told you what actually happened. So that's always been the dad that I've been, I think, pretty straightforward, which I think that helps you ask me more questions, because you know I will tell you.
I think Michael, as a father, isn't so much of a sit back and let someone else do the discussion and emotional work and talking and stuff. He's been there.
Be the parent. Do the hard things, but I think that builds our relationship. I think getting through the hard times makes us closer in the long run. So it's always about the next 20 years, not how is this week gonna go.
We have these questions from Instagram. Let's get right into them. So
this is exciting.
This is a real deep one. Do you believe in aliens?
Wow. So I didn't used to, but I don't think I used to have an understanding of just how vast the universe is. So I do believe that there's other living things out there.
I'm glad we got that out of the way. What is your biggest motivation?
I think that I'm highly motivated, but that's really philosophical. That's deep.
Because I feel like I used to think I was supposed to be motivated by money, but people inherently have things that they're motivated by, maybe by the way they were grown up, by nurture, by nature. Some people it's money, some people it's relationships, some people it's helping others.
I think for me, it's not to be a failure and to be self-sufficient. So my motivation is to provide for my family and for me and to thrive. It would be very hard for me to rely on other people.
I think we're very similar and in that way as well. I think one of my biggest motivations is to have the autonomy to do whatever I want and maybe not have excess amounts of things, money, people around me, but have things that are important to me, that are enough for me, and that I know I can do what I want, when I want, within reason. If you didn't have kids, what would you be doing?
I would not be doing this video right now.
Yeah.
If I didn't have kids, I wouldn't be as good a person as I am. If I didn't have a wife and kids, I would just probably travel like everywhere and not care about, as long as I had a place to sleep, like a mat. I don't care where I live or what I do. Yeah. I would just be a wanderer. I wonder how I would wander.
My dad reads a lot of books, so someone asked, do you have any book recommendations?
I do. There's an amazing book. It's called Mindset that I just finished reading a couple months ago. It's one of the best books I've ever read about having a productive mindset and not a growth mindset. Really good book is Don't Shoot the Dog. It's about positive reinforcement. It's not about shooting dogs. When I was younger, probably one of the best books I read was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then one other recommendation I will have is Thou Shall Prosper. I think it's Daniel Lapin.
Who's your favorite child? You gotta answer these honestly.
Although I do love you both very... Hi, Merla. I was like creeping over the corner like, I do love you very differently, both of you. Yeah, no, there's no love more than another love for a child.
It wasn't about love, it was just who's your favorite.
Who's my favorite? It depends on who did their chores.
I already know my mom's favorite is Merlot, so I'm just trying to grasp on to whatever I can. One of the hardest things, maybe that's difficult to think of right now, but hardest thing you have gone through.
When I was 4 years old, I watched my pap, my grandfather, have a heart attack right in front of me. Paramedics came and worked on him while I was standing there watching the whole thing. Probably the hardest thing I ever did.
I never knew that.
And then attended his funeral. And I was very close to my pap. My grandma and him babysat me often. And so I would go to their house from a baby till 4 years old, and we would play cards. I remember like it was yesterday at 4 years old. That was probably, I'm certain, the first traumatic experience in my life. In my brain, I can see the buttons flying in the air when the paramedics ripped his shirt open to do CPR.
Next one, I guess. So there's like a few questions that I feel like would go together. So, did you want kids? When did you find out or figure out that you wanted kids? And did you ever feel like you were supposed to have kids?
I did. I'm the youngest of 5 growing up, and everybody I ever knew before I was, I'd say, 17, 18 years old, everybody I ever knew was married and came from a family. When did I know that? I guess it was always like that. Didn't know how many kids I wanted, or...
But you always felt like you were going to?
Yeah.
Do you think growing up now it would be different? Think you would feel less like you're supposed to, or more, it was maybe more of an option not to have kids? Or do you think it was just always something that you thought would be part of your life?
I can't imagine growing up today. It's so different. Like, I can't even relate to having to grow up, like what it's like. These are a pretty serious question.
Yeah, they are.
One of the fun questions. Blue, my favorite color is blue.
Yeah, I used to ask him what his favorite color was like every day.
Yeah, it's still blue.
And usually he'd be like, it's blue. And I was like,
It's so boring. Pick a different one.
if you could have a superpower, what would it be? Or what superpower do you wish you had?
Yes, flying.
Flying?
If I could, yeah, I would just be able to fly.
You were paragliding and you almost got sick.
I was paragliding.
I also got sick up when we went paragliding.
Skydiving. I've been on an airplane, on a...
Rocky Mountain climbing.
No.
I was singing that song.
Yeah. Rode a bull. We'll see right here.
Oh yeah, he broke his ribs and never got it fixed.
I broke a rib on a mechanical bull that I got bucked off of a long time ago, and they can't do anything for ribs anyways. It was hard to breathe for a couple of weeks.
He never got his nose fixed either. His nose was a little bit crooked.
I got my nose broke when I was a Walmart store manager.
When is it the right time to have the talk?
Depends on with your kids or from a kid's.
No, with your friends.
I think it depends on the child and their maturity level. I had to talk very early with you and Merlot because you were mature and I didn't want to sugarcoat stuff and those conversations come up. So back to the how babies come out, and I told Bear that one. And then during the same conversation, she said, well, how's the baby get in there? And I looked at her and I said, you don't want to know. Because of what I just told her about how the baby came out, she accepted that and walked away. She was like, yep, I don't want to know, I'm out. Your eyelashes are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. I use a $70 eyelash serum, so I freaking hope so. Least favorite part of being a parent?
Changing diapers. The happiest day in a parent's life is when your youngest child is potty trained. You don't have to change somebody else's poop. Getting back talk from your teenager or getting attitude from your teenager.
It definitely took us a very long time to figure out how to communicate. I would say up until I was, 16, we were not communicating effectively.
And a half.
And no one was hearing the other person. And honestly, it came down to me learning how to be a better person and learn how to actually try to understand others, to get my points across and get what I want out of conversations.
I think the core of that is understanding that each one of us, you, me, each one of us is not the center of the universe, is that there are other people and you're dealing with emotions and perspectives that you don't understand.
And not everyone wants the same thing. I've had problems with that in the past with even like friends, other family members. It confuses me when they don't want the same things as me in life or in smaller situations, but you have to understand that people are their own people what they want is never right or wrong. It's just what they want. And I feel like that's been a big part of growing and understanding the world and others.
And that you live in your dad's house and your mom's house, so you probably should follow their rules.
I'm living here right now because I enjoy the company of my parents, not because I can't move out. Because I totally could if I wanted to. I definitely have enough money to get an apartment right now.
For like at least 3 or 4 days.
All right, is there any other questions or any questions you have for me?
Is that all the questions? What's some good, juicy questions? What could I have done differently as your dad through the teenagers?
He's asking because I have a teenage daughter.
Because
I don't have a teenage daughter. He has a teenage daughter who's going through stuff right now.
Bear's sister's 14.
Maybe understanding you didn't grow up in this time, or as a teenage girl, or in the same circumstances as I grew up or as my sister's growing up. So the things you wanted and the things that were important to you, or the things that are important to you now, might not be what's important to them or what they feel is important or what they need. So instead of trying to force those things or thoughts or impose those thoughts or feelings on them, maybe having a discussion on why they think that way or why they are doing what they are doing, rather than just trying to fix things.
Taking the extra time to explain why is important and terribly challenging. But I think I have a good idea of how to do that. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks guys for watching.
Please comment below on what other questions you would like to ask.
If you liked it, definitely leave it a like. Subscribe to see more from me and maybe a little bit of him. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.